Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the today's Restaurant Networking Group at 9 a.m. on July 31st. Can't believe July is gone already. My name is Howard Appel. I'm the founder and publisher of Today's Restaurant, and we are a group of vendors who are here to help each other grow our business. And if any restaurant owner, manager, or chef is having issues or problems that they need help with, we encourage you to give us a call at 561-620-8888 or go to our website at trnusa.com. And I'm just going to put something on the screen for a second. Maybe, maybe not. All right, forget that. I'll get to it later. Uh, we have started a new uh, area of our publication. It's going to be called Today's Restaurant News Forum, where people in the industry will have a clearinghouse to send information, observations, ask a question, uh,
Complain.
complain, make a comment. We'll get plenty of complaints from the group. But so all we need you to do is to email your question, your comment, your complaint to info@trnusa.com, and we'll attempt to answer it. And whether it's factual or snarky, we'll answer it. And if we can't, we have a cadre of experts that we can turn to within our groups that will help us answer it. So again, you can send us your email at info@trnusa.com. So officially, good morning. And we have a new person with us this morning. And I'm going to ask Mike Sachleben. Did I get that right, Mike?
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you just to tell us who you are, what you do, where you're located, and how we can reach you.
Sounds great. My name is Mike Sachleben, and you can reach me at 774-210-9507. That's the best phone number. I'm located in West Palm Beach, Florida right now, and I run a consulting company that focuses on helping people flex their C-suite when they need to, right? So I give them part-time or interim C-suite services in order to help them run their company so that they can focus on the big thing, which is growing their company. Uh, and I do that either by helping out as a chief of staff to take away the management BS, COO to help streamline operations, technology, marketing, sales, could be just about anything. And so, right now I'm able to help out with either restaurants that are a restaurant group and looking to try to streamline their operations internally in the back office a little bit, or a restaurant vendor who is interested in trying to make sure that their foundations for growth are set properly so that they can actually execute on it and be successful in the marketplace.
And so are you what you would call an operations consultant?
Yep. Typically, it's going to be operations. It could be staff management as well, but fundamentally, it's going to be all about usually the operations.
Mike, do you go in and try and help if a business is struggling, do you help them restructure?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
A lot of times it'll be a combination of things. Maybe they don't have very strong operating procedures, and so you need to write those down and then enforce them. It could be that there's something about their operational controls that are bad. It could be something about their technology that's wrong. It could be something about just the way in which their executive leadership is handling things. Maybe they're a set of bullies and need to get training on exactly how not to be a bully anymore. So it could be any number of those sorts of things.
Do you see more issues on the financial side, or do you see more issues on the management side?
I tend to see more issues on the management side, if only because a lot of times companies bring me in order to figure out how to run better. They don't necessarily have a problem with their financials directly, but they know that there's a lot of friction inside the company that's causing them to lose money in a silent way. So their financials are often, sometimes even strong. It's just that they recognize that there's big problems for the future if they don't change now.
It sounds like it's more of a control situation. I want too many chiefs and not enough Indians.
There are many times where that's the case, and sometimes it's also the reverse. There's one chief, and he's like a spider inside the web, and everything has to go through that one person in order to actually have anything happen, which may work really well when you're 10 or 12 people, but works really, really poorly when you're 30 or 40.
There's one thing I hated about the retail world was micromanaging. Can't get anything done if you're being micromanaged.
That's right.
Because you always feel like you have to look over your shoulders and make sure, because you're always afraid you're going to do something wrong because you can never do right.
That's right. And that's a management training issue. And that's also a writing down policies and procedures issues so that people know what they're supposed to do and that the management can trust that that's happening, but also have verification so that they can guarantee it's happening.
Yeah. Hey, Howard, you know what he reminds me of? You know what Mike reminds me of? Who's that guy that goes in and cleans up the bars?
John Tap.
There you go. That's what he reminds me of. Thank
Right.
you.
I would say that he sound absolutely.
I mean, it's kind of like, Mike, how many times you run into a company that hires you? They know what the problem is, but they don't want to hear it from an outside individual, and they get mad at you because they've screwed up.
Every time.
Yeah.
And, the other flip side is that you get a bunch of members of the staff, the lower level staff, that as you're talking about things, they'll go, uh-huh, yeah, we told them about that, uh-huh, but they don't want to listen to internal staff as well. So sometimes having that outside voice helps bring the things that the staff has already known about to bear and can actually be acted upon. And other times they're like, you don't know what you're doing. You're not in the restaurant industry. I've been in 15 industries, so
I don't know what I'm talking about, but
Right.
you know what? You just paid me anyway, so what's the problem?
I mean, give me my money. I'm okay. If you
All right.
really want me to walk away, I'll do so.
Yeah.
Talk about management training. I read an article this morning. Well, it's an article. It actually happened. A guy was throwing a 50th birthday party for his wife at an upscale restaurant. This is not a joke. This is real. And where you spend $50, $60 for a steak. So it's not, not Texas Roadhouse. It's a little bit better. And the service was horrible. They didn't bring the birthday girl her drink on time. Everybody else got their food on time. And while he was sitting there, after speaking to the manager several times, a palmetto bug fell on his chest from up above. And he called the manager over, and he said to the manager, he told him what happened, and the manager says, that happens sometimes. I mean,
gosh.
Talk about management training.
I mean, that definitely is something where you need to go ahead and train that. And quite honestly, if that can't be trained, then it just needs to be fired. Right? So sometimes that's the recommendation.
Yeah. I had an issue a couple of weeks, a month or so ago, where I spoke to a manager about a problem after our meal. And he said, I'm going to go in the kitchen and I'm going to tell him about it. He went in the kitchen and never came back. He disappeared.
Yeah, that doesn't help. That doesn't help. So.
Well, welcome aboard. I expect several people. I know Steve is coming on late. He's coming on 9:30. And I'm going to have to get a hold of Kurt. Ed is not coming today. I don't know why, but anyway.
Yes.
Let's do our intros, and then let's start with Jessica. I was going to be I was going to be, wait, maybe I will. No, I'll hold off. Jessica, go ahead.
Oh man, now I want to know what you were going to say. I'm Jessica Kirby. I am a local account executive here in Florida with Spectrum Business. For those of you that don't know Spectrum, we are an internet, TV, telephone, and cell phone company, and we are in lots of Florida and really 41 different states, about to be almost all of the states because we're going to be acquiring Cox Communications as well soon. So I can pretty much do business anywhere that is within our footprint, even if it's not here in Florida. I do, obviously have more relationships and more things here, but I am able to basically start their account for them, sell them the service, and then I manage those services so that they don't have to call an 800 number. So I just make things a lot easier for my clients. And that goes from startup. If they are starting a new location that needs construction, I can get construction built to that location for Spectrum, all the way up to just a new customer, that just needs to set up new service at an existing building. I can be reached at 813-326-2246. And my email address is jessica.kirby@spectrum.com. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And Mike, I think you know that at the end of the meeting, I send out a spreadsheet with everybody's information. I also just want to jump in and mention the Florida Restaurant Show. I want to reinforce that. I know you guys know about it, but October 25th to the 27th, there's a show in Orlando given by the sponsoring or called the Florida Restaurant Show. And we have a pavilion at the show where our members are exhibiting, whether a half booth or a full booth. So if anybody's interested, this is the week. Let me know if that's an interest, because we're finalizing the booth. I don't know, Mike, if you ever thought about that.
I won't be doing it this year.
All right. We won't hold it against you. You should come up and walk the show at least.
I may choose to do that.
It's definitely something anybody in business should take a look at it. Let's go to Nick. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Nick DeSantis. I'm with Brown & Brown Insurance. We're a national broker, the fifth largest in the U.S. and the world, actually. Saying that because all it means is we've got capacity to handle any size client, small or large. I've always specialized. I'm a former restaurant owner, had a couple of Beef O'Brady's and 5 sandwich shops at one time, and sold everything in 2005 and became an agent and stopped working 24/7 and just still had to work hard, but the restaurant business is tough. We all know that. So these guys need support wherever they can get it from all of us. And if I could save them some money on insurance or make sure that they're properly covered, that's what I do. I'm really good at solving problems. If somebody's either paying too much or has a problem with their agent or isn't sure their coverage is, or opening a new one and expanding, that's what I'm good at. I really like, those kinds of guys that, actually they're in need of insurance. So they're, it's not like they just want to see prices, and I'm not a practice quoter. So, but if I can help somebody, that's what I prefer. We do everything from personal lines, so if you guys want to quote your home insurance or your autos or all that, I could connect you with the right person over here. Bonds, we do everything. We do captives. So if it's a big company, we can start heading them in a direction where they insure themselves and they don't have to, deal with the marketplace every year. It's, from once they do that, they're inside, they own their own insurance, so to speak. I mean, there's some underwriting and there's some protections there, but captives are pretty cool. Worked on a big restaurant group that's leading towards a captive. So that's going to be a process of about 3 or 4 years. But we do that stuff, national chains, master programs, or independent restaurants. I'm looking for anybody that has an opportunity with a multi-unit restaurant that you're doing business with. and you want to refer somebody that's trusted, we're specialists at it. I'm a specialist at it. So that's what I do. Nick DeSantis, Brown & Brown, 386-299-9540. Nicholas.desantis@bbrown.com. Thanks.
Thank you. Well, let's finish off the insurance segment. Go ahead, Rick. The other half.
The other half. Yeah. Nick goes in and gets the property. Then he goes, "Who does your health insurance? I got a guy."
That's right.
Rick
exactly
Israel
right.
what's that, Nick?
That's exactly right.
That's it. Rick Israel with Lifeline Insurance Consultants based here in Huntsville, Alabama. We're a small independent insurance brokerage firm, which basically means that we don't hold bias to any company. We can bid out pretty much any kind of insurance other than property and casualty. We can help with an individual retirement going into an annuity. We also like to work with restaurant groups, especially myself, because restaurant groups have probably the most major turnaround as far as employees. And so we want to keep the cost low. But one thing that I like to always offer restaurant groups is called gap insurance. And what gap insurance does is it covers that deductible, that first $4,000 or $5,000 deductible on high plans. Because we want to lower the cost for not only the employee, but also for the employer, because obviously they're covering the majority of the insurance. Also, if a restaurant group has 50 or more employees, they are required by the government to carry what they call a MEC plan, which is a minimum coverage. It keeps the IRS out of the back pocket of the employer for penalties. I can be reached at 256-746-9581.
The insurance that you offer could be under the umbrella of employee benefit.
Exactly. We also do employee benefits. So not only do we like to do the health insurance and the gap coverage, we also want to bring up the importance of the employees being offered critical illness, which under that falls cancer, anything with a hospital stay. We also like to make sure they have the dental, the vision, short-term, long-term disability, and any kind of ancillary product that can actually help the client. And that's what I love about being a brokerage firm, because we can deal with Equitable, Colonial, Aflac, Principal, Prudential. I can just keep going on and on of all the companies that we have contracts with. So we can bid it out. What we do is we get a census from the employer and we send it out to our brokerage firms, and they come back with their quotes, and we make sure that the coverage is all the same. And then we go with the one that we believe is going to be the best option money-wise for that particular group we're working with.
Yeah, great. Many times I've mentioned to the group that if you wanted to submit an article on any of your subjects that you do, we're open to seeing it. And this week, Chris sent in an article and a photo of the tilt-a-whirl operator, and we'll be using it in the month of August, probably on a Monday morning e-blast. So I thank you for that.
Like the carnival ride tilt-a-whirl?
Yeah. You're on mute, Chris.
You're on mute, Chris. Chris, you're on mute.
You're on mute.
He knows. He's still talking. You're on mute.
Hey, he's still on mute.
I gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, that picture of the guy that ran the tilt-a-whirl, I think it's rather impressive. It's somewhat of a relic. I mean, it's kind of like getting a picture of Abe Lincoln. It's authentic, and the tilt-a-whirl is quite a spectacular ride there in Panama City Beach. So it's a piece of history worth getting involved with.
Just don't write it right after lunch. That was not fun.
Yeah.
Terry, you speaking from experience?
Nah.
That's
I like the high roller coasters and all of those, but yeah, the tilt-a-whirl, the ones that spin, someone should have told me.
The Tilt-a-Whirl has a special place in my memory. When our high school graduating, we went to in New York, Rye Playland. The whole school went to Rye Playland, and there's a tilt-a-whirl there. And one of my friends didn't want to get on it, but we convinced him to get on it. And as he got to the top of the turn, his stomach rejected everything. And by the time he got to the bottom, he got hit by his own stuff.
Oh God! Oh God! Did you know? Never mind. I won't ask. God, that's horrible.
I thought I digested that hot dog.
Now that I've totally destroyed the professionalism of this, Chris, tell us what you do.
Primarily working on behalf of restaurant companies to provide the human capital to improve their companies. We have, for example, we have a company that is starting a seafood concept, and they don't have anybody in their current roster of 7 different restaurants that's really deep in the knowledge of menu development for a seafood-centric type of restaurant. So they came to us and they said, listen, we're going to put all our multi-million-dollar investment into a brand new seafood restaurant, and we need a lead tank. We need a executive chef with strong seafood menu development background. And we'd like that person to have training and development skills, wonderful references, and actual on the job experience. We want somebody with a can-do attitude who will jump in and make it happen. And if they happen to know software such as Restaurant 365, or if they know some of the other softwares, that's even all the more better. So they gave us the profile. We went out and found the guy, and therefore they became a better company because they've got that human capital that they did not have until they contacted Chris Kaufman and Company. Restaurant All-Stars, 404 All-Star, 404-255-7827. Just ask for Chris. More than likely, he'll be the one answering the phone. And we look forward to speaking with you.
Are you finding at this time more people looking for higher quality kitchen help?
Yes, the emphasis is truly on the food big time nowadays. Scratch kitchen, that's a calling card. The days of from the freezer to the fryer, that does exist in a certain segment of our industry, and in a certain segment of industry that could be appropriate depending upon your location. However, the mid-priced restaurants are really focusing on trying to get as much fresh as possible, and also the focus on the consistency of the food. Absolutely, it's higher than it's ever been in terms of emphasis. Yeah, which is great, and it's just reflective of people's demands. That people. The diners are more sophisticated now than they ever have been, partly because of all the chef television shows where people learned a lot about food preparation. And the word gets out, and people say, "Hey, have you tried this over there? Wow, yeah, that's really good." It's kind of like a company that recently went with jumbo lump crab meat in their crab cakes versus claw crab meat, and their sales zoomed, even though there was like a 40% increase in the menu price for jumbo lump crab cakes versus the old claw crab cakes. So,
are you finding that you're getting more calls from people who used to work at franchise operations that are being closed down in record numbers? Or is that something that they're doing on their own?
It's something they do on their own. I mean, we're in a place where we don't uh, yeah, the background where people come from or where the companies come from, it could be franchise, could be corporate. It doesn't, you know. Is that the question you're asking?
Well, like, they're closing a lot of restaurants, a lot of franchises are closing. So a lot of managers are out looking for jobs. So I'm seeing a lot of people contacting us. If you know something, let us know. Et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
The market is changing, and also with the tremendous amount of equipment that's going to be available, that's going to change the restaurant equipment market.
Right.
So
Right.
it's all stuff that you have to look a little bit ahead of.
True. We our focus is basically the companies, you know, the companies in terms of in terms of bringing to them the talent that they want. You know, the overall macro picture of how many people are looking now versus a year ago and what kind of backgrounds they have. That's data that I'm sure somebody somewhere has, but it's not really relevant for my business. What's relevant is capturing those companies that have a specific need or even a general need. You know, people that, you know, just bring us somebody with, you know, with good restaurant chops and, you know, some good quality experience and stability. Stability is a tough issue because a lot of people that have lost their jobs, they didn't lose their jobs because of incompetence. They lost their jobs because the company closed up. I mean, look at all the people that worked really hard at Red Lobster. But because, and by the way, there's
Right.
more and more articles coming out about Red Lobster. The problems that they had financially were not related to the endless shrimp promotion. Okay, that was one of the biggest scam articles ever. That it's related to the fact that they sold their restaurants and they sold their restaurants to get some cash. Okay, then they get the cash, but now they've got a lease payment that they didn't have before. And that can be very troubling. And it's put them in the tank because they couldn't match up their lease payments. And when you're operating with no $8,000 to $10,000 a month financial obligation, now all of a sudden you are, even though your parent company got some cash for selling the building, pretty soon cash runs out. So
Absolutely.
you know, so blaming it on the endless shrimp promotion could possibly sink or financially rupture a company to lose 200 restaurants. It was a bizarre statement from the get-go. And I'm glad to see that Bloomberg had an article recently about a former executive came out of the closet and said, "Let me tell you what really happened." And I'm glad that's out there.
Well, that's good to know because I didn't know that.
Yeah, they
And by the way, on that endless shrimp, what they did was I ordered it a couple times. They wait probably 15, 20 minutes before they come back around. Once you're finished, by that time, you're full.
they're full.
They're not
Right.
they weren't stupid with that. They knew what they were doing, clearly.
Right. So,
Good morning, all.
Morning,
Sorry,
Steve.
sorry for my tardiness. Once a month, I'm moving into a new community. Sorry to interrupt. If I'm interrupting, stop me. I'm moving into a new community. Actually, we just got our closing date, the 28th. And of course, being a good networker, so I set up a business networking for the group, and they want it the last Friday of every month. So that was my job this morning. So sorry for the tardiness.
All right. Brian, good morning. Steve, you're gonna have to help Brian. He can't get his own picture in front of his logo.
We're not sure. We think maybe in my laptop, maybe the camera.
I think the camera is not working, if I had to guess.
Yeah. I
Guy's
think
a
maybe
genius.
I'm gonna have to take it in to get fixed. I don't know, but
Probably cheaper to buy a new laptop. I hate to tell you that.
that's what Rick was saying. And I like this one. I've had it 6 years. So
Oh, well, that says it right away. It
Yeah,
is
then it's
time to buy
definitely
them.
time.
You know what? You should buy them from me because I get rid of mine about every year to 2 years. I'm really crazy. So you can get an almost new high-end laptop for
There you go.
a reasonable price. Yep.
okay,
Brian, call.
what?
Give him a call. Hang on.
I should. I'm Brian. I'm with a company called Rogue Financial Group. We are a commercial equipment financing company. I've been in the industry for about 20 years, so I've seen a lot of things come and go. Things happen, things change. But what Rogue does is we are a commercial equipment financing company. I work with dealers, work
Are
with
we
end
intentionally
users.
being quiet?
I help them acquire equipment financing. Could be a small project, large project, startups, things like that. All different types of equipment. I primarily focus in the hospitality side, about 90% of it, and help them with front of the house, back of the house equipment. Again, I work with a lot of dealers around the country. Again, Rogue is a commercial equipment financing company. But also for all y'all out here, probably Terry maybe or Nick, because he works over the country and things like that. I don't know if you read this or not, but you've heard of Biscuit Belly.
Oh, yeah.
They are going to acquire some of the Maple Street biscuit places.
Right.
I think there's about
Cracker Barrel too.
Yeah.
yeah. And Biscuit Belly corporate office is out of Louisville, Kentucky. So again, I'm Brian with Rogue. I can be reached at 404-723-7222. Appreciate it.
Hey Terry, with that purchase from Biscuit Belly for Cracker Barrel, wasn't that part of the deal with the new CEO coming in? Or was that already done before the new CEO?
I'm not sure, but I know that there's only a few units. It's not all of them.
Oh, okay. Okay.
All right, let's go to Steve. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm Steve Whitehill. I'm a business broker and I help people buy and sell businesses of all sorts, restaurants and just all over the state of Florida. As a matter of fact, I reached out to Ed from Carpigiani because my client is interested in a ice cream place. So we'll see if he can help me find one for her. So we sell restaurants. We sell not only restaurants but businesses for probably as low as I hate to say this, $100,000. Matter of fact, lower. I sold one for 50, and all the way up to about $10 million. So we have a broad range of businesses in the state of Florida that are available for sale. Steve Whitehill, Anchor Business Brokers, and I can be reached at 561-376-7500. And my email address is steve@anchorbb.com. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. TRN Terry.
Hi, everyone. And again, welcome, Mike. Nice to see you and have you here. We have a lot of our people not here today. Some we know about, some we don't. What I do with my team is find out what's opening in this lovely sunshine state, which isn't so lovely up in Orlando this week. Going to be tons of downpours, right, Jessica? Major stuff coming in.
There was a lot of flooding over here yesterday. I live in Polk County, and luckily I was at the Rays game, so I was over in St. Pete, but here it was like flooding.
Yeah, I've been watching it. Terrible. But what we do, me and my team, is we find out what's opening from Key West to the Panhandle in Florida. We have a massive monthly lead report that's done in an Excel spreadsheet. We try and put the zip codes and cities together so it's easy for you to sort. If you're a company, you might want to give half your leads to someone, half to someone else. We have companies like Gordon Food Service, US Foods, the Florida Restaurant Association, and they get a lot of their new members from this list. We give you the property name, the restaurant, what phase it's in. Is it under construction, entering Florida, lease is signed, how many units they have, owners' names, addresses, phone numbers, and email addresses, and approximate opening times. I've got them out now all the way to 28, 29 with new retail centers that are being built. So there's a lot of info there. And being in an Excel spreadsheet, you can always cut and paste whatever you want into your own format. You can do whatever you want with it. You can call like Nick does. He is absolutely diligent, and God bless him, because I couldn't do it. He does it. A lot of people will send out emails, whatever it is. And then I will personally guarantee you 50 brand new leads every month, no carryovers. If there aren't 50, and there's been 70 and 80, I think the last list that just went out, I think there was 75 or 80. And above that line, there's another 30 or 40 that have just opened in the last 2 to 3 months, month to 3 months. Same information. So anybody that wants to see that, go to TRNUSA/leads, and you'll see a tiny sample of that report. You can go on the website, see the price, then you can email me for your price as being part of this group. And I have to tell you, the majority of people in both groups, we have 45 members now, Howard, at least? More. Many of them, as soon as they sign up and they go to the report or they call or speak to me, they sign up for the leads. So you get one a month for a year. Any questions, you can give me a call. And if there is something that you're looking for and you can't find, if it can be found, I will find it. If not, they've hid it so well and it's so buried that you just can't get that particular phone number or email. But I'll tell you what, I will try until I can't keep my eyes open to get it. I'll tell somebody else, do this. Don't do anything else. Work on this. So that being said, weekend.
Terry, excuse me, I'm sorry. Do you have Zoom info Zoom info is a resource that we use, and that's where I find the numbers, and I'm starting to hit on some, and there's a few that I need to probably get with you on contacts for some of those leads that are on your report. So Zoom info could give you the executives information. It'll give you their their all their top executives on there. If it's multi-unit, just mostly bigger companies, not little small ice cream shops or anything, but like you had Freddy's Custard,
right,
and
Freddy's
Burgers on there. Yeah, that's one I'm going after, and nationally. But if you go into Zoom Info, you can look up. There's a lot of information available on Zoom Info. So if you aren't using that tool yet, you may want to look into it. But if I see stuff, I'll get with you.
Yeah, I'm aware of it, and I do go on. I haven't signed up for that platform yet. Be the one I guess I should do a get next. So you're absolutely correct. It gives you emails, it gives you phone numbers, and they're blotted out unless you're a member and you join up. I am very familiar with it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But your leads have been excellent, and it gets gets me into the company, and if sometimes I'm able to uncover some other stuff, but I'll let you know as they come about.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, I want to just double back to Mike. Is there anything you want to add to what you've already said, or change anything, or run for the hills?
Oh my God, I completely realized I have to be in a different business altogether. Oh, no, I'm out. No, I'm totally fine. Thank you for giving the offer. I appreciate it. And thank you for having me this week.
Okay. Uh, Anybody have any issues or topic or questions or information you want to get to the group?
I got a question for Mike. Do you only work in Florida, or can you work remote to other states like Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, or are you strictly only in Florida?
I work anywhere as long as there's ability to do remote. And if the contract is the right contract that, has the right ROI for me in it, I will also occasionally go and visit remote locations. And usually that'll be something that we determine based on a negotiation as to whether they pay fully for it or where I pay some of it and they pay some of it. But fundamentally, that's something that can happen as well.
The reason I asked that is one of the groups that we use is a restaurant group up here, and he refuses to get an HR manager.
Oh, sure.
Refuses. He said, I have a business degree. My degree was in business and accounting. And I'm like, then why are you an owner of a restaurant group? And
Right.
you refuse. I mean, he doesn't know how to pay the bills. He's expects everybody to do everything for him. He just wants to run the show. And it's like,
Yeah, and thankfully, even though my personal skill set is not in HR, I have someone basically I'm aligned with that I'll bring in order to do chief people officer things in order to help people through that process. So even if I don't personally have the expertise, I always bring the experts with me so that we get the right thing done and the right understandings are made.
well, we need to touch base.
Great.
When I get your info, I'll drop you an email.
That sounds great, Rick. Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, Mike, I have a question for you. Let's just say, whatever, I bring you somebody or whatever, or whoever in the group. Is that initial consultation, is there a charge to that, or you kind of ask questions, kind of see if that's a fit for you, or they're like Rick was saying that maybe we willing to work with you, or sometimes they want to buck the system, they think they know everything, or
Right.
Yeah.
First time's always free.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no question about that because that's a sales qualification call, and there's no point in trying to bill someone for sales qualification.
Yeah.
And in fact, occasionally, I talked with someone this week that was my second call, and I gave that for free as well because again, we were qualifying, we were determining whether or not there was a fit. And in fact, I said that the next one that we do, which is going to be in person, which is even for just a couple of hours to make sure there's fit, I'm going to let that one be free as well. So, but I was proactive about it and told him this is considered number one, right? So don't worry about it. But no, the first time through is always free because there's no point in charging something to someone who doesn't recognize the value of it.
Yeah, I understand. Okay, I appreciate that.
All right. Every week I send out emails, etc., for advertising, etc. And I always say that it takes more than one time to be successful with advertising. I got a call yesterday from a woman who has been on my mailing list for about 5 years. She just decided to call yesterday. So, yeah, I made a sale once. It took 13 years for me to develop it, but so it's not a one-shot deal. Just to keep that in mind, and people who potentially put one in, say, "Oh, we'll see how it goes." That's not going to work. You might get lucky the first time, but that's not how it goes. In any event, there was an interesting article. I think Chris and Mike might have some insight into this. The question is, how does a restaurant deal with a difficult employee besides firing them at the moment?
Wow.
Yeah, so Chris, go ahead, and then I'll step in and talk as well.
Well, I've found over the years you can get more done with a kind word and a gun than just a kind word. So
There's a line of people right behind them that
no,
Well,
the answer is one word: standards. You're either running the place on standards or you're not. And if you're not, then you're probably running it on personality, which is a dangerous philosophy.
let me give you the breakdown, just so this might open it up a little bit. You have to define what type of difficult it is. So, and there's attitude problem, performance problem, behavior problem, the skill problem, or a personal problem. So that difficult person may have many aspects.
Right. Well, the easiest one to fix is performance, because that gets back to what the position's all about, and just getting an understanding if they understand what the position's all about. The toughest is the personal interaction with other employees and or with other managers, prejudicial type stuff. I'm not talking race. I'm talking um, education and some arrogance versus understanding. So, um, but it's the key word there is communication. And but then in communication, you know what that takes? Time. And some people just flat out don't give the time, whether they're owners, managers, whatever. And Sam Walton said he spent 50% of his time just walking around Walmarts. And, 50%, 50. And a lot of times he'd ride with one of his drivers for 100 miles and really get to know what's going on in the company. Well, that takes time. That takes commitment. And, it's not always easy. So, in a nutshell, the password is communication. The other password is standards. And then also conveying the attitude, we're all in this together. We're all trying. We're all trying for the same objective. It's not me versus you. So take it away, Mike.
Yeah,
Well,
so Chris nailed it right there. Where you start is performance, and that's the easy one. And the key element there is documentation. It's the communication, yes, but you need to make sure that you're documenting your communication in writing, so that you've got a paper trail behind you if you need to do something. Performance improvement plan, or a PIP, is something that often is then a second step around that process of getting someone to change. If standard communications that are documented just don't work, you put them on an actual plan with a relatively short time frame. Sometimes it can be as short as 6 weeks, sometimes it can be as long as 6 months. But fundamentally, it's about establishing in writing, in a way where they sign it, that says, this is my expectations of how your performance is going to change. This is how I'm measuring, and this is how we're going to then make a change based on how you actually do the job differently over the course of the next X weeks or months. Sometimes those work and sometimes those don't. I've had experience where that type of employee that goes onto a PIP becomes literally the best employee in the entire company. I've had experience where the PIP results in a termination within 8 weeks. So, that, to Chris's point, is the easiest. Everything else that Chris said is absolutely true, but you can also boil all of that down into one word, and that is culture. Everything that he described is facets of the culture that the company wants to put out there. And that culture, it doesn't matter if it's a restaurant or if it's a bank. Culture matters, because culture is the milieu in which everyone swims. And if certain things are acceptable or deemed acceptable in one place that are completely and utterly unacceptable in any normal place, well, you're swimming in the one place where it's acceptable, so you start doing it, right? So, for instance, if the leader of the company is a bully, then the people who are under him is going to get used to the idea that it's okay to bully other people. And they do, right? Or if the leader of the company is abusive, swears at people all the time, calls them morons, calls them idiots, calls them the worst people have ever done, tells them that the Lord Jesus Christ, our Savior, hates them. An actual quote given to me. Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah. Then the other people in the company will assume that that is acceptable behavior and then be surprised when they're told that it's not. And if it's not then reinforced by the leader, when you make an attempt to change that behavior for the better, that reinforcement is not there, it's never going to change. There's no accountability.
Well,
The fish rots from the head.
I want to ask Chris. I want to ask Chris a question because you had brought up Walmart and Sam Walton. You know, he did what he did, which is great, but after he passed away, the culture changed, but yet they're still successful. Is that just because their name was already so big that people just didn't care? Because I walk into a Walmart and the employees, part of my language, don't give a crap. You know,
Chris,
that would never be the way it is if Sam Walton was still alive.
before you answer, Chris, I want to just make a quick point. Rick, the idea that the Walmart that was here when Sam was alive and the Walmart of today, which is a multinational, multi-billion-dollar organization, they're two completely different companies that happen to have the same name. Right? They functionally are, they changed their culture, they changed everything about their operations, they changed everything after he died, and professional ownership took over in a way that started sidelining different aspects of the family. So the two, yes, there's a sense of continuity, but to compare the two beasts, it's a tough one. It's tough to do. Chris?
Yeah, exactly. And it's evolution. And some companies can carry it on. In my recent Chris report, I talked about when Nepo babies inherit the company from the founder. Sometimes it works out, and sometimes it's horrible. But I happened to be involved in a situation where it worked out when I was just for 5 years during high school and college at Rich's department store. And Morris Rich started that business in 1867. I came along in 1968. So over 100 years later, but his family, I think his grandson was then the CEO of the company. But the family culture and the family caring pervaded that entire company. It was a fabulous example of how Nepo babies can actually do the job the right way. I just happen to be aware of a couple of Nepo baby situations in Atlanta that are horrible. And it's really sad because I know how hard the original founder worked, and he threw the keys to his 34-year-old son, and it's not good.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Yeah.
and that's what Mike mentioned about culture. The culture at Rich's department store that I experienced, and they eventually made a lot of money when they sold out to Federated. After at that time they were probably 120 years old, and that's amazing for a company to exist for 120 years. That's with the same family, okay, and it was. It can be done, but it takes work. But they worked at it. I mean, they didn't sit on their laurels, and they didn't bully people, and they didn't bark signals. It was a team effort, and you knew that you were part of the team. And even as a lowly stock boy, I went out and helped a customer with their lawnmower. The customer calls the company and says, "This guy was great. The general manager of the store sends me 2 all-you-can-eat dinner tickets to a restaurant." I mean, yeah, I'm I'm not one of the executives making decisions, whatever. I'm just a stock boy, and I get this thing in the mail from the general manager of the store. I mean that, you know.
Well, Chris, you know, when I was younger, I want to go back to the Walmart thing and kind of compare it to Publix. Okay, when I was growing up, I'd walk into a Walmart before super centers were even thought of. It was just you go in there, you buy your clothing, you buy your electronics, and you walk out. Okay, they had the layaway and the whole thing. And the one thing you would always see when you walked out was a picture of George Walton. I mean, Sam Walt. It was there. Okay. If you go into any Publix, anywhere that they're located, you will always see a picture of George Jenkins. Always. He was the founder of the company. They didn't grow like Walmart did. They kept the family culture, and they expect that culture to be. Now, obviously, times have changed. They had to lax to find the employees they needed to. So, I don't, when I worked for them, you couldn't wear beards, your mustache couldn't go past corner, you couldn't wear your hair below your collar. That culture's changed, but the fact that you still see Mr. Jenkins' picture when you walk in and walk out, I mean, they still carry those same standards that they need to carry to be successful.
Well, Publix in particular, when I moved to Florida many years ago, I came down looking for work, and I applied to Publix for a management position, and they said that I would not be qualified because I'd have to start as a box boy.
Yep.
They start you from the ground floor up. You have to know the whole process.
That company promotes from within, but they stopped doing that because they couldn't get enough employees or qualified employees once they go in. So they're actually hiring managers from the street now, which is outside of what they went to. But, when they went to Georgia, they came to Alabama, they went to South Carolina, Tennessee, North Carolina, Virginia. Well, when you leave one state and you leave the culture, sometimes you have to, unfortunately, bend the rules a little bit.
Yeah. I guess that brings us to the end of the meeting for today. I appreciate the conversation.
Yeah.
We're going to have to really work on getting our members to appear on a regular basis and bring new people in. It's one of the things that we're really focused on. But in the meantime, I thank you all for coming. Have a great week. We'll see you next week. And let the sauce be with you.
It is.
Have a great week, everybody.
Thanks.
Take care, guys.
All right.
All right.
Brian, get a new computer.
I'm work on it.
And by the way, I got rid of my old one for about $600, and a new one cost me $2,300. So you get good deals when I sell my computers.
Wow.
Hey, Steve.
Yeah.
I sent the same spreadsheet to you, to Howard, and Terry, and you were the only one that was able to get anything filled out. But if you filled it all the way out, it did not show up on my end filled out.
I filled everything except the most right-hand column. Some of it I did, some of it I didn't.
Yeah.
Hold on, I sent myself, so let me see. See if I can find it. I did it late. I saw that I got it, but I didn't open it.
Oops.
Ah, shit.
And when you finish that, I was going to ask you a question about laptops.
Yes, go ahead.
I've had a desktop for 10 years, a Dell.
Right.
But I'm going to be moving to a laptop. Okay.
Yes.
With a laptop, do you fear that if you take it with you on a trip and you lose it, you've lost everything?
Oh, the answer is no, but that's because I do something actually very simple that is most people don't do. So what is it that I do? Microsoft has something called OneDrive.
Yep.
So all my files are stored on OneDrive. So I could throw my computer away and I'd lose virtually nothing because I actually access all that stuff on my iPad as well.
Yeah.
So instead of using local storage, I use internet storage. And OneDrive is integrated in such a way that it downloads to your computer anything that you're currently using, so you don't have to even be concerned about a fast internet connection. And you can periodically I force everything back up to OneDrive because it stores it locally as well, but it synchronizes.
Huh.
So as I said, I could throw my computer away, it could have a crash, and it's unlikely that any significant information would be lost. That's even true for my photographs. I put a special, and it has a thing for photos as well. So even you can even do personal. It's really almost nothing that's stored locally.
Hmm. Yeah. So,
Chris, not to disrespect Steve, but if you have any questions and stuff like that, Stephanie in the 11 o'clock group from Brilliant Computer, she does all that kind of stuff. All our files are backed up on the cloud every day.
Yeah, but the advantage that this is, nothing has to get backed up. It's physically automatic and continuous.
Yeah,
And you get it if you have Office 365 or whatever they call it,
365,
Microsoft
yeah.
365, it comes with it. You get a
Yeah.
terabyte of storage, which is huge.
Yeah.
Hey, I have a quick question for you, Howard. Should I have Stephanie reach out to her and have maybe dial into my computer and see before I actually go and buy a computer, laptop, or go get it repaired to see if there is something maybe just doing something wrong?
Rick, just to tell you, I opened up the file that it sent me. Where is it? Give me a second so I can look at it again. And essentially, the information that's there, it's not complete. Most of it is not there.
Okay. Yeah, I got to what it is, I built it on ChatGPT, okay, as a fillable PDF. So I can send it to each individual client who may not know how to download it, fill it, save it, send it back. Too many steps. So I'm
Well, all
trying
I
to
did
put,
is I just followed the instructions. I filled it out and clicked whatever, and it asked me if I wanted to download or if it wanted to send me a copy. It's actually sent me to me twice, and they're
right,
both identical. Both do not contain all the information I filled out.
right. But so that's the problem I'm running into because we use a CRM system called Zoho, and
Yep.
they have their own proprietary type of DocuSign.
Right.
And what it is I can put it in there and hit send, but it's not allowing you to put information in there because they want me to use their proprietary ship stuff, put it in there. They want me to use build it out of their system instead of me just dropping mine in there. So
Yeah,
I've
but
got to reach
does
out.
this document go into do you keep it in Zoho or do you keep it? I don't know how you structure your files.
What it does is it comes right back to me through my Zoho email.
Right.
And then I take that information and I download it to your file in Zoho, so it doesn't go right into it.
That's probably why. I mean, it's really weird because how often is everything is completed.
Hold on, okay?
The reason where I put in a reason, it seems to be there, but strength, there are a couple, and medication, there's only one.
Yeah, so that's what I've got. I'm going to call them today and figure it out because I don't want to have to build it, but I may have to. So, well, I got April on the phone. You guys have a blessed weekend. Have a good Sabbath, Stephen. We'll talk with y'all soon.
Yep. Thank you.
All right.
Bye, guys.
I gotta run. I gotta set up the next meeting. See you all later.
Take care.
okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.